All right, class, tonight we're going to look at Chapter 3, Lesson 1, Day 2. And our objective today is, that is what we're going to be looking to be able to do, is to be able to divide two fractions. So the steps for dividing two fractions. Step 1, write the problem down. And you can see that I have 10 over 12 divided by 6/8. Step 2, change the division problem to a multiplication problem by changing the second fraction to its reciprocal. So notice the first fraction stays the same. We change it from a division to a multiplication, and then we write down the reciprocal, 8 over 6. Step 3, multiply the numerators. So 10 times 8 is 80. 12 times 6 is 72. Right? Step 5, use the ladder method to simplify your answer. So I write down 80. Should have an 80 there. So divide 80 by 2, you get 40. 72 by 2, you get 36. We can divide by 2 again. 2 divided by, 40 divided by 2 is 20. Making corrections here as I go. And 36 divided by 2 is 18. What we have then would be 10 over 9, which there are no numbers, more numbers that go into them. But what we need to do is we need to change this to a mixed number. So what we do is we take 10, and here's how I'd get this 1/9. You take 10, ugh, that's ugly. Let me see here if I can make this look a little neater here. If I switch to a different type of pen, I can usually write better. So we have, I'm going to extend the page. We have 10, that's a better, over 9. We ask ourselves, how many times does 9 go in the 10? 9 goes in the 10 one time. 1 times 9 is 9. And how we get our 1 1/9, let's show you that. I'll use a highlighter to help you. This is your whole number. The remainder becomes your numerator. And the number that you divided by becomes your bottom number. Just like that. Let's look at another practice problem here. So first off, let's go back here and let's change this to a multiplication problem. So my first fraction stays the same. I change it to a multiplication problem, and I'm going to use the reciprocal, 10 over 1. Now that I have two fractions and it's a multiplication problem, I'm going to go ahead and multiply the top. 30. 3 times 10 is 30. 5 times 1 is 5. Now we call this an improper fraction because the top number is bigger than the bottom number. So we have, this line means divide. So 30 divided by 5 is 6. And that will be our answer. So let's do one more. So once again, first it's a division problem. We have two fractions. So let's change it to a multiplication problem by multiplying by the reciprocal. So 3 over 4. That one stays the same. Change it to a multiplication and flip that second fraction. Now that we've done that, we're ready to multiply our top numbers. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 1 is 4. And once again, this is improper because the top number is bigger than the bottom, so we have to do some dividing here. So I'll work it out. 6 goes on the inside, 4 on the outside. Ask yourself, how many times does 4 go into 6? 1 time. 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract those, and we get 2. So we have 1. 2 is our remainder. That goes on top. The number we divided by is 4. So we have 1 2/4. Now the last thing we have to do is we have to make sure that our our fraction part of our mixed number is in simplest form, and 2/4 is not in simplest form. If we went ahead and used the ladder method for 2 and 4, you could see that we could divide them both by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So our answer is 1 1/2. That would be our final answer. Some of you might be a little bit confused by this. Remember, as always, just because you didn't see it on the lesson doesn't mean that we won't talk about it in class. We'll make sure that I answer any questions that you may have. Tomorrow in class, we're going to knock out page 76, 77. We're going to do 3 to 4, 13 to 16, and 19 to 21. I think you're probably starting to figure out that we're doing these problems based on what type of problems they are. First, we had fraction, a whole number. Now we got 2 fractions. So we'll see you in class tomorrow. Have a good night.